All right.
All right. How we doing?
Well, I'm back in Dubai.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. You are. It's fast and furious as always.
We gotta do what we gotta do. You know, I had a great time out on the wave machine here at the Wave House. So thank you for setting that up as always.
You've got more skill than you look. To be fair, it's not fair. I keep promising myself I'm going to do some practicing so that next time you come in, I can show you some skills.
Perfect.
And I just don't get any time.
Well, you have the machine.
You come in, you don't really get a lot of practice. You don't really get a lot of sleep. And then you're doing jumps and tricks and I don't know what, so I need to practice a little bit more. It's no different than, we've got a couple of bars that have got pool tables in them.
Yeah.
And everyone thinks that you're a pool, you can play pool because you have a bar that's got pool tables on.
Yeah.
I think in 5 years I played 2.5 hours on one of our pool tables. I'm terrible at the game. It's the same with the wave machine.
How many locations do you guys have now?
We have 8 that we own, and we have 1 that we partnered with Atlantis, which is obviously the Wave House, and we have a management and licensing contract on this one.
So what are different type of venues? Are these restaurants?
Yeah, we've got what we identified when we came to Dubai, and we sort of spent a couple of years having a feel of the market. There seemed to be sort of lower end traditional pubs and bars that sat in sort of lower end parts of hotels, or high end nightclubs that sat on the top floors of hotels. And there didn't appear to be a bar and restaurant scene that sort of sat in the middle of it. It was either the lower end stuff, or it cost you 10,000 dirhams to sit anywhere. When we came here, that's not either of those sectors is not something we're particularly passionate about. It's most certainly not something we're very good at. The consumer that enjoys those different products, they don't really relate to us and we don't really relate to them. So why go into that sector? It was quite saturated. Everybody told us F&B massively oversaturated. But we saw that 4-star sector of casual dining that evolves into a few drinks that can evolve into late night as being absolutely untouched, absolutely untapped, and probably where the majority of people living in Dubai could actually afford to go. So we decided to build an F&B business with quite a diverse portfolio of offering, but right in the middle of that 4-star sector. So we don't own and operate any Michelin stars, we don't own and operate any top-end nightclubs.
You stay within your wheelhouse.
We stay within what we're good at and what we know and what we understand and what our customers recognise us for. So we have a very, very nice Pan-Asian restaurant, but you don't have to remortgage your house to go and have dinner there. We have a couple of gangbuster bars called Lock, Stock and Barrel, which happy hour into early drinks, into late night drinks, into absolute party. You know, that thing has got as much sound and light as any nightclub you'll ever find on the planet.
And lots of Heineken.
We sell more Heineken than anybody else in the world in that venue, yeah. We actually have to have 2 people whose sole responsibility is just to move kegs of Heineken.
That fast?
That fast.
Wow.
It's on those weekends, it flies out. So, and it's easy, it's accessible. We don't charge you minimum spend on tables. We look for good group bookings. We program it with live music, football, ladies' night, brunches.
Everything and anything.
Everything and anything. And you get your customer is anything and everything. From your normal average guy who's grafting, he's getting up in the morning, he's working, to your billionaire who maybe doesn't want to particularly get recognised, but just wants to have a great night.
Yeah.
Lockstock's looking after Lockstock JBR, close on to 80,000 people a month visit that venue.
Wow, that's great. Yeah. So you guys are cranking over there.
We're trying.
So, what most people don't know is how you even got in this industry. So you were going the corporate safe path. How did you get into hospitality, F&B, bars?
I got far too drunk one night in a bar. It's the honest answer. I want to tell a fairy tale of I had a passion and something inside of me was burning and I didn't, but it wasn't. It just wasn't that. I worked in the banking industry. I worked for a very, very large international banking company. I'd worked extremely hard for those guys. I'd done a lot of hours. I reached 26, 27 years of age. Had a fantastic career, but I hadn't really had a lot of life experience. All my friends were off partying and I was up at 5 o'clock in the morning grafting and working 18 hours a day. So I asked this company, could I have a year out? They said yes. I moved to Egypt on the Red Sea. My father was, that's another story, my father was building a safari liveaboard boat and I decided to go and be a dive guide for a year, grow my hair, dive 4 times a day, get fit, get healthy and just go and live on the sea for a bit. what we used to do is pick up a group of guests on a Thursday, take them on safari for a week, bring them back into town on the Wednesday night, take them to a bar, give them a few drinks, give them a great last night, and then they would leave and we'd pick the next group up the next morning and the cycle would continue.
Right.
One particular group we dropped off in the bar, in a bar called Papa's Bar in Hurghada in the Red Sea. The night went extremely well. 7 or 8 kegs of beer got drank between 15 of us. And at around 5 o'clock in the morning, the story goes, I agreed to lend a Dutch guy 10,000 sterling.
Who you just met, or you didn't even know?
I knew he was the owner of the bar.
Okay.
We'd met a couple of times. Didn't really have a particularly strong relationship, but just on that evening we bonded particularly well.
Of course, over
a lot of beer.
Yeah.
And apparently I still actually don't have a memory of saying yes, I'll do it. So the next morning I wake up, felt very worse for wear. Came downstairs, my father's cooking some breakfast, looks at me, says, you look a little bit rough. Yeah, tough night. Text message on my phone goes, when can I pick that money up? Oh, money. Ooh.
I may have agreed to something.
Dad, I think I've invested in a bar. I was like, the fuck do you know about running bars? As much as you do as building dive boats, Dad, I guess. Touche. So I thought, why not? I went and met these Dutch guys. They seemed good guys. We made a deal that while I was a partner, I could drink for free. I did a very quick calculation in my brain that I could probably drink £10,000 in about a year, which was how long I planned to stay in Egypt.
So you could you measured your downside risk.
Yeah, I did. My calculation was £10,000 divided by 12, divided by 4 nights a week drinking. I could assume that. So we went for it. Those guys turned out to be amazing people. The guy I agreed to lend the money is my business partner today. We've been partners, friends, best buddies, soulmates for 20 years. We've been through 3 marriages, 2 divorces, 3 revolutions, 4 terrorist attacks, and 42 venues. Wow. And never had a row.
Wow.
Never had a row.
That's crazy. What a story of how you forayed in. So you were in Egypt for a while, right?
We did 10 years in Egypt, yeah. So we had, at peak, 18 venues that operated across the Red Sea, Hurghada, Sharm el Sheikh, a couple of little things in Cairo, and then we used to do some stuff on the north coast in Alexandria.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we had a great little business.
What made you kind of move out of? You mentioned a revolution. What made you kind of move out of Egypt? I mean,
the revolution. So on the 11th of January, 2011, we had 18 operating places. So we had the Ministry of Sound franchise. We had 2 of those. We had the Head Candy franchise. We had our signature bar, which was the original version of a Lock Stock, much smaller, but live music, great entertainment, great fun, locals bar. We had a number of those. We had a steakhouse. We had a chill out, cool bar. We had quite a sizable business. 1,000, 1,200 people working for us. By the middle of February 2011, I had 6 places left, 350 people working for us, and $500,000 in debt.
Wow. So how do you when you face adversity like that, and you go from essentially being completely pissed and agreeing to invest in a bar to building it into a 1,000, 1,200 employee company, then having it all kind of collapse, underneath the revolution and the political uncertainty, which was completely out of your control. Like, how do you not just give up or just say, you know what, the heck with it, I'm moving on?
I had an interesting situation that happened to me when I was 28 years of age. So I joined Egypt, and that pattern, I joined Freck and the guys, that pattern of drinking lasted for about 18 months. And then one morning I woke up with extreme stomach pains. And to cut a very long story short, I was diagnosed with acute pancreatitis. Within 48 hours, I was in an induced coma. I was air ambulanced back to the UK, and then I spent 3 months in a coma, fighting for my life with my family at my bed, 24 hours a day.
Wow.
Once I woke up from that coma and all the things that came along with that, I had a completely different view on life. I've actually wrote a book on the whole experience up to that point, and the book is called When I Woke Up. The title is not about when I woke up from a coma. The title is about when I woke up from life. That no matter who we are, no matter what we're faced with, every single person that walks this planet has his challenges. Some are horrendous, some are horrific, some are extremely difficult, but we all have them in different degrees. We only ever give up, Faisal, when we stop trying. When we don't stop trying, we haven't given up, we're just having multiple experiences. Egypt for me was the absolute best possible experience I could ever have. I invested $10,000, I left with $20,000. Okay, I may have had a $3 or $4 million business throughout the journey, but it was part of the journey. It was never the destination. I don't believe there's a destination. I believe there is multiple service stops along this road that we call life. So giving up, it doesn't exist. I just don't have that gene of, I can't handle this, it's too much for anyone to handle. So I treated it absolutely as the best possible experience. I won't make the same mistakes that I made in Egypt. I've got 10 years of F&B experience in a very transient customer base. My customers came into Egypt on an aeroplane. If I did a great job, they left. If I did a terrible job, they left.
Yeah.
And I got to go again. I got to try again. I got to learn. I got to understand this business. I always wanted to come to Dubai. I used to come here on holiday. I used to bring my family, my children, my wife at the time. And I had always a fabulous time. And I always thought, there's a big gap here for guys that do it a little bit different.
Right. So that's kind of what made you push to go into the Dubai market.
I knew a couple of people here, only 2, but that was 2 more than I knew anywhere else.
So what year was this when you?
I moved here in 2012.
So 2012 you moved here.
I had $20,000 in the bank. I had enough money to pay for half a year's rent on a house and half a year's schooling. And my plan was to arrive here and meet different investors and start a food and beverage business. Dubai is quite fast.
Yeah.
And if you don't have traction, if you don't have history and you don't have a CV, to try and get a meeting with a hotel general manager to say, will you rent me some space? And I don't really have the money yet and I'm working on it. And
put it together.
I'm going to kind of figure it out. It was not easy. People wanted to know what I wanted. So it took me about 2 years to put together an investment consortium to start the first one. So in late 2014, we opened Q43, and that was our first one. But for that 2 years, I had to make a pound. I had to cover the rent. I had to cover.
Well, how is it moving into markets? You're from the UK. You then went into Egypt, experienced that transient market, and then now you're coming into Dubai. I mean, these are 3 different countries, regions that you're used to and accustomed to doing business with. Like, how do you navigate? How do you start? Like, where do you even begin as an entrepreneur to even try and navigate a new market, especially one where there's cultural differences, languages, etc.?
I actually think, Faisal, and you'll know this. I mean, you do business all over the world. I actually think that sometimes the naivety of not understanding a particular market is a fabulous thing.
Yeah.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
If you knew all the challenges that you had to go through before you started,
you would never do it.
You'd never start.
Yeah, you'd never do it.
You'd literally never start. In Egypt, we built bars with our feet in the sand. Somebody followed behind us with I'm telling you the truth, with white cement, and that was the base. We'd tipped the white powder into the lines, and that was the base of where we built a wall. There was no AutoCAD, there was no graphic designers, there was no renders of what the venue was going to look like. We just felt it.
Yeah.
We came here with exactly the same thought process. We'll just build it. And we started building a venue in the top floor of the Media One Hotel, in an office space. We're building a nightclub with 1,000 people capacity. The challenges of building a nightclub on the 43rd floor of the top floor of a hotel are impossible. Yeah. You actually should never do it. But we'd gone so far that
you couldn't turn back.
The journey back was way longer than the journey forward.
Right, so you just
pushed through. So, doing business in multiple regions, you've got key principles, and the people are people. We like to deal with people that we like to deal with, and we kind of figure the rest out. Right. If you have a bond with somebody and you've got that basic skill set of being able to deal with other human beings, whatever they may be, whatever class, whatever culture, whatever nationality, if you've got basic skills of being a people person,
or just being a good person, like
you
people
just,
are going to want to
you
deal with you and
just
hang out
figure
with
it
you.
out. So, we implied the same stuff. Let's meet some people, let's have some coffees, let's chew some fat, and let's see where the journey goes. And I'm no different today.
Yeah.
I always said, I don't own anything today in Dubai. And I'm this type of guy. I've always got time for a coffee with anybody. Right. Someone reaches out to me to have a coffee, I'll have a coffee.
Yeah.
It's one of the quickest ways to find out if someone's got something or not. You can have 2 coffees if the meeting's interesting, or you can knock it back and we're done here, I said I'd have a coffee. And today, running a, however successful we describe our organisation, I'm still the same person.
Right.
What got me to where it got me to should be what gets me to where I want to go.
Well, what's interesting is because what happens to a lot of people, I see it, and I'm sure you've even felt it sometime within your career. Once you make it, you want to change what you're doing. So you're like, oh, I already made it. So maybe you get soft or a little bit lazy, or I don't have to push as much as you have to. And really, in order to keep progressing, you have to keep up the same intensity.
I see it, exactly like that. That the second that you believe you've made it, done. Sell it, retire it, hand it to someone that's more hungry than you.
Yeah.
This might be a company that we built. And while I serve as the CEO of this business, I should be the best guy to do that job.
Right.
Not just because I'm the lead shareholder. I should be the guy who is most excited, most driven, most passionate, most enthused by what we're doing. And while I still see that in myself, I'm the right guy.
Yeah.
When I think I've made it, and what has made it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, is it ever enough, or they're just things?
For me, it's never a number.
Yeah.
I don't have a number. I don't want a number. I have, can I keep doing cool stuff? Can I keep building groundbreaking, market-changing, industry-moving F&B?
Yeah.
Our last venue was this one. I think this is a gangbuster of a venue, completely different to everything we've ever done. We've managed to shoehorn somehow kids with families, with adults, with sports, with football, with surfing. We put it all together.
With bowling, with arcade games.
You write down a piece of paper and think, let's put all this into a bar. It makes absolutely no sense. So while we can continue to do cool stuff like this, I'm going, and I'm still going. And all I'm trying to do, Faisal, and I said this from the day I woke up from my coma, I just want to be the best version of myself, and how I visualize that guy. That's the guy I chase.
Yeah.
I see me as the best version of me. I see our company as the best version of our company. I see our venues as the best version in service, in smile, in style, in music. Let's be the best version of Lockstock. Let's be the best version of Wave House. With that thought process, I don't have a finish line.
Yeah.
There's no finish line.
Well,
there's just flags in the sand.
Yeah, and you keep mile markers.
Yeah, I just keep doing it.
In.
And that keeps it exciting for me.
Well, you have to. I think part of it, when you build businesses such as you have, it really comes down to the people around you. You're one guy, so obviously there's
I'm
a
just
whole
the lucky guy that gets to sit in front of cameras. They're the guys who do all the graft, they're the guys who work it, and that team is...
What's kind of core to your company and your group's culture? Like how do you go into it, managing people, keeping them around, like retaining them, actually motivating them? It's not an easy task.
Oh, it's not an easy task, and in a sector like the F&B in Dubai, there's always something new coming. The city doesn't stop, it doesn't sleep, it doesn't rest. There's always a new bar, there's always a new nightclub, there's always a new restaurant. There's always a new group of investment or management company who are looking for the best staff.
There's a new hot, sexy tour company, whatever it is.
Whatever it may be. And staff like to move. I think because we've grown at the pace that we've grown, we give our teams opportunities that they wouldn't find in another food and beverage company. I have general managers at 24 years of age.
Wow. So you're agnostic as to age, it's more talent.
Give my talent the opportunity to grow with me.
Right.
And the only way I can do that is keep building great venues.
Yeah.
And they're probably in any other organisation they're probably too young. But in my organisation, if they're good enough, they're old enough.
Yeah.
And I don't have that hang up. If you're ready, then it's my job to find you your chance.
Right.
Not your job to go off and find it somewhere else. That's my mistake. So it doesn't always pan out that way. And I've only got 9 venues, so I've only got 9 general managers, I've only got 9 bar managers. But we treat our customers like superstars. in return for doing that, we have to treat our staff like superstars.
Yeah.
We do award ceremonies, we do monthly prizes for the best staff that treat customers in a special way. We do a thing called storytelling, where we give our staff the opportunity every week to tell a story of where they went the extra mile. The best guys win $1,000 a week.
Really?
$1,000 a week.
So you're incentivizing the right behavior that you want out of your staff.
I'm incentivizing my culture to come down to the ground level. I've got today 750 staff running around trying to find a customer in distress.
just to have the store to help him.
Because he wants to have his photograph in the company newsletter, because he wants to send it home to his mum to say, I'm doing well, mum.
Yeah.
$1,000.
Yeah.
$1,000 is a lot of money. So we've got kids where, and these guys work long hours. It's F&B is a hard graft. At 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, when our customers have had a few too many to drink, they're probably not as polite as they should be.
Right.
They're probably a little bit more rude and pushy than they were at 8 o'clock when they came in the venue. And I'm asking that team of people to smile at them, be polite with them, and when they fall over,
patient,
pick them up and get them in a taxi. Today they're doing it because they want to tell the story.
Right.
They want to tell people they're good at their job. You want to tell people, I want to tell people.
No, I mean, I think it's important.
My staff want to do it,
Yeah, no, I think it's an important thing, to incentivize the behavior you want, but also, when you're teaching them to, everybody rolls their sleeves up, and nobody's bigger than the next person. And I'd imagine, whether it's the GM, the CEO, yourself, or the person, the busser that's there, you treat everyone the same way.
100%. I never forget. At 18 years of age, as a dyslexic schoolboy that fell out of school, I did not do well at school at all. My first job was selling shoes. So I sold sports trainers on the weekend. Today I get to head up 750 young, cool, enthusiastic, dynamic superstars. I have the best job in the world. I'm still that little shoe guy.
Yeah.
I'm still the guy who sold shoes. If somebody treated me well when I sold shoes, and that helped me to become an assistant manager of a shoe shop,
right,
to become the manager of a shoe shop, I don't ever forget that.
Yeah.
And I never will. I'm absolutely blessed to do this job. I am punching way above my weight. And there is not a single person in this organization who is any more important than anyone else. I don't have my title on my business card, and my thought process is this: I'm just the most experienced. I'm not the most senior. I'm not the most powerful. I'm not the most, not on any level. We are a flatline management team who are just based around experience. I've just got more experience than the busboy. My job is to help him become the best
CEO
version of himself.
No, I completely get it. So when you referenced back to when you woke up and it wasn't coming out of a coma, you essentially were saying you woke up to life. So
I got very carried away,
right,
being a nightclub owner. I had 18 months. I came out of the corporate world where I'd been working crazy hours, very efficient, very straight, Wasn't really a party person.
Right.
And then at 27 years of age, became an owner of a nightclub. That grabbed hold of me in a way.
At 27, you're owning a nightclub. So I can only imagine if my 27-year-old self owning a nightclub, I'd probably get after it every now and again.
We got after it way too much, and it nearly killed me. And it was the best possible thing that could have ever happened to me. It made me look at life.
So the thing that almost killed you is the best thing that possibly happened to you.
The only regret, Faisal, I have was the pain and the anguish and the hurt that it caused everybody that cared about me. What it did to me, it took me a month to learn to walk. That's how bad it was. I lost 40% of my body weight.
Wow.
I used to be able to, I was reasonably, so I was 118 kilos and I woke up at 72 kilos. Today I walk around at 80. To give you an idea of just how much that hit me. And it was absolutely the best thing that could have happened to me. It gave me a wake-up call on do more with your life. Don't be selfish. It's not about you. It's about what you can do for everybody else. You've been given a gift, whatever that gift may be. I have this thought process that every single one of us is a genius. We just have to figure out what it is. You ask a fish, to run 100 meters, you think it's stupid.
Yeah.
Chuck it in the sea and then watch it go.
Yeah.
Find your genius.
Well, everybody I agree with you. I think everybody's good at something, you know, and it's just finding it and tapping into it. Some people can find it sooner. Some people, you know, have these gifts or ability to do great things and they misuse them, you know, misleading people, taking advantage of situations.
Sure.
I know even, you know, with myself, you know, I have an ability to manipulate situations how you want them to come. So whether that's in business, life, girls, you know, whatever that may be. And you know, my younger days, I would manipulate things for evil, I would say, you know, whether it's girls, relationships, whatever it was. And then now it's kind of, you know, I use the term manipulation, but for the positive, in order to help people, in order to ensure outcomes that protect your employees or protect your loved ones around you.
But you had to learn that stuff.
Oh yeah, you learn the hard way.
You had to experience a bit of life, and that coma for me was my huge wake-up call to, you have a talent. And you know, I was a dyslexic kid. I was told till I was 16 years of age how stupid I am, and I was on a piece of paper writing down a paragraph, I'm stupid.
Right.
But that was not my gift. Yeah, so don't get
busy. You have some other talent.
Don't get busy with that. Get busy with everything else. So yeah, it absolutely made me wake up and think about my family, my friends, the people that work for me, the people that dedicate themselves to blindly believing where I want to go.
Yeah.
You know, my team would charge any fence without knowing what's on the other side, because they know I'd take the bullet on the other side for those guys. So yeah, it was absolutely the best thing that could happen.
So when you look at now and the way that you live your life, you know, one of the things we had a discussion about yesterday and even on Instagram, it's daily gratitude, right? So what do you do? So somebody like yourself, what do you do? What's the first thing you do when you wake up?
The first thing I do when I wake up is I grab a coffee and I sit down and I think about 3 very simple things that I'm thankful for today. They can be the most complex of things, they can be the most gratitude of things, they can be the biggest of things, and they can be the smallest of things. Whether it's I'm grateful for my cat because he's just cute, I'm grateful for the amazing team that helped me to build Wave House, I'm grateful for the massive opportunity that the Atlantis gave me to come here as their sole management contract and show what I'm capable of doing. A range of things. We're so busy, and the one thing that when I woke up from that coma, every day, every single day, everything was amazing. Everything. We get so carried away with this wonderful life that we live,
right,
and we forget the most basic of stuff.
You take stuff for granted. I mean, that's the way it ends up being.
When I got sick, it's a true story. When I got sick, I was so poorly, I was so thirsty, and they put me on no water. I drank water out of a toilet in Egypt.
Hold on. So you drank toilet water? Okay.
Because they'd put me on for 24 hours, I was not allowed to drink or eat anything. And this disease that I had caused this insatiable thirst. So I drank from the tap, and they found that out, and they turned all the taps off. And then I got out of bed again, I got a cup, and I put it in a toilet in an Egyptian hospital, and I drank from it. Today, I get to drink water at $12 a bottle.
Yeah, Pellegrino.
I don't need anything else.
I mean, that's an amazing story.
3 blessings every morning.
So you wake up, 3 blessings every morning.
Every single day.
And really take stock in your day.
Yeah. It starts my day in such a beautiful way.
What's your advice when you feel like the world's crashing around you, you have a bad breakup, you have a shitty day at work, or your boss is an asshole, or you know, all the multiple death in the family, like
stuff
whatever
that everybody
it
is dealing with every single day. Yeah, and you know that thought process of giving up only actually happens when you quit.
Yeah,
you know, you can have somebody once told me that it takes a baby 240 times of falling over before he learns to walk. 242 times. He doesn't quit because there's no quit in him. Right. No one's taught a baby.
Yeah, they don't know to quit.
You can, if you don't really like it,
it's
you can
being
quit.
that being naive. The ignorance is.
He sees everybody walking and thinks, okay, this is just part of the process.
Yeah, exactly. Got to do it.
Yeah.
Well, Paul, thank you so much for your time. I'm glad we were able to catch up.
Absolutely honored to talk to you.
You got to come visit in Vegas.
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm ready. Good
awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. And that's a wrap for today's business class. Enjoy today's podcast? Feel free to leave a review on iTunes or share this episode with a friend. Want more Hotel Boss in your life? Who doesn't? Subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on Instagram. Simply look up @The Hotel Boss. Until next time, Hotel Boss out!